Services, broadcasting live from Banjul. I am Fatima Sise, and this is the news at 2200 hours in our top stories. ICT experts and partners gather for the 4th Internet Convergence at a forum held at a local hotel. Officials of the Transport Ministry visit project site of China Aid International Conference Center to inspect ongoing works. Plus, South Africa replaces plastic with compostable bags. This as the country celebrates International Plastic Bag Free Day. And a radio show in Nigeria provides a platform for people to air grievances as an alternative to the country's slow judicial process. These plus many more stories coming ahead. Stay with us. Welcome to the news, and we begin this bulletin with the 4th Internet Governance Forum, which is underway in Banjul. A significant convergence for the ICT sector. The theme of the forum is Internet Convergence in New Gambia. Aminata Sanyang reports on the event, which brought together various ICT institutions taking part in the forum.
In ICT, the 4th Internet Governance Forum will address vital areas covering the Internet,
the private sector and the civil society, and all stakeholders in general, in their respective roles of shared principles, their norms, their rules, their values, their decision-making procedures, and programs that shape the evolution and the use of the Internet that we know today. Based on the concept of Internet governance, it is noteworthy that our goal as a National IGF Steering Committee is to work with all the stakeholders to influence government's ICT policies and to see Internet governance fully entrenched in all sectors of the Gambian economy.
The Ministry of Information, Communication and Infrastructure are full participants of this forum. The Permanent Secretary, Amin Jai, said the issues discussed in the forum will impact full participants of this forum. The Permanent Secretary, Amin Jai, said the issues discussed in the forum will impact.
And the Works and Transport Minister today attended the 4th Coordination Committee meeting on the status of ongoing works at the $50 million China Aid International Conference Center. And Minister Lamin Job was updated on the latest works done on the site by Gambian and Chinese engineers. By Ibrahim Cham tells us more in this news piece.
Of Transport and Works and the Chinese ambassador to the Gambia, showing the different areas in progress through pictorial graphs. The 6 Gambian engineers from the Ministry of Transport and Works for the first time also did a presentation on how they are handling their responsibilities, ranging from communication, lab tests and approvals, to record keeping and the safety and security inspections. A brief tour was done around the site, to which the Works Minister, Lamin Job, expresses optimism on the deadline approach and the international standard of the conference center ready to host the OIC summit scheduled in 2019.
During our meeting, the consultants from China
and the Chinese ambassador to the Gambia, showing the different areas in progress through pictorial graphs. The 6 Gambian engineers from the Ministry of Transport and Works for the first time also did a presentation on how they are handling their responsibilities, ranging from communication, lab tests and approvals, to record keeping and the safety and security inspections. A brief tour was done around the site, to which the Works Minister, Lamin Job, expresses optimism on the deadline approach and the international standard of the conference center ready to host the OIC summit scheduled in 2019.
During our meeting, the consultants from China did a report, also the contractor, and also this team. There are 6 of them, comprising of architects, engineers, draftspeople, and even students, interns. They're here. And the overall report corroborated what was being presented earlier, which is that the progress is going on as stated by the consultant and the contractor.
The Chinese ambassador to the Gambia, Zhang Jiming, said this is just one of the many projects aimed at strengthening the bilateral cooperation between the two countries and the subsequent meetings is likely going to put the team in the right direction.
With this spirit of teamwork and also the coordination mechanism in place, many challenges, issues are being tackled with and are being solved. And I learned that by the end of next month, August, the main structure will be completed. Starting from September, the project is entering the phase of decoration, a new phase we are entering. Yes, ahead, we are entering the rainy season. We are having new challenges, more challenges, but we are confident with this team spirit and everything good mechanism in place. The project will progress smoothly and be completed as scheduled. Thank you.
According to the Chinese engineers, by the end of this year, the external work will commence, giving the green light for the Gambians to choose the landscape and NAWEC to install its electricity transformers. For GRTS News, I'm Ibrahim Chan.
The adjournment debate of the National Assembly has ended yesterday with lawmakers discussing development needs of their constituencies and other development issues. Fatou Janembai was listening and she filed this report.
At the National Assembly chambers on Tuesday, the 2018 adjournment debate, which lasted until after 10 p.m., availed deputies the opportunity to discuss their constituency priority areas of development and others, all intended to meet the needs and aspirations of the citizenry. Many among the development challenges highlighted during the sittings are common in the rural Gambia, as deputies put it. These challenges include lack of electricity supply, pipe-borne water, and adequate health facilities.
Because if you think about less constituency, we and the mother, they have to be there 400 kilometers throughout the country.
It was a long day for lawmakers at the National Assembly chambers on Tuesday. The 2018 adjournment debate, which lasted until after 10 p.m., availed deputies the opportunity to discuss their constituency priority areas of development and others, all intended to meet the needs and aspirations of the citizenry. Many among the development challenges highlighted during the sittings are common in the rural Gambia, as deputies put it. These challenges include lack of electricity supply, pipe-borne water, and adequate health facilities.
Because if you think about less constituency, you and the mother, they have to be there 400 kilometers throughout the country. My constituency was not among. And I am not directing, I am directing the Minister of Works and Communication.
We apologize for that hitch in the story by Fatou Janembai, and hopefully before the end of this newscast we will bring you that report. Meanwhile, the news continues. The former governor of the Central Bank of the Gambia, Amadou Koli, is the latest to reappear before the Janneh Commission, and this as the Commission continues to probe former President Jammeh's dealings in financial transactions. Senabu Jane was there and she has the rest of that story.
On Wednesday, the Janneh Commission continued its investigations into the financial dealings of the former President Jammeh. The first to appear was Amadou Koli, a former governor of the Central Bank of the Gambia. The Ministry of Finance intervened to help NAWEC manage its debts with Euro-Africa Group. The Commission asked the former governor how the NAWEC bond came about.
In that meeting, we arrived we agreed at a set of recommendations. One of them was to consider the possibility of restructuring NAWEC debt. So I took note of that. That was a year before the coming into being of the bond. But later in the year 2014, around September, October 2014, as governor of Central Bank of the Gambia, I took note of request for what we call waivers for single obligor levy.
Former Finance Minister Keba Toure was also asked to explain.
And my ministry felt that it was necessary to embark on what we call public enterprise reform strategy. Because at the time, public enterprises like NAWEC were becoming a burden on the budgets. Because in 2014, a lot of money was paid by the government on behalf of NAWEC to the Islamic Development Bank. So at one point we requested NAWEC to give us a statement of their liabilities to their suppliers as the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, because the liability of any public enterprise is contingent on the government. So when this reconciliation statement came, it revealed that NAWEC was highly indebted to its suppliers and to the banks.
Since the start of the China Commission, many revelations suggesting alleged financial mismanagement by officials of the former government have come to light, and Wednesday's sitting will certainly not be the last. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Zainab Jain.
That takes us to a news release from the Ministry of Interior, and it states that the ministry has learned with dismay that some members of the general public, especially youth, are abusing democracy provided by the new dispensation, showing little or no respect to law enforcement officers. In this regard, the release went on. The Ministry of Interior strongly warns those responsible to desist, as those found wanting will be dealt with according to the law. The ministry therefore wishes to reiterate that members of the public reserve the right to report any suspicious or clandestine activity to the nearest police station for investigation. The Interior Ministry, however, solicits the cooperation and understanding of the general public. The release concludes. The Department of Livestock Services on Tuesday presented veterinary drugs to the National Livestock Owners Association. The presentation was done through the Gambia Livestock Marketing Agency to Regional President of the National Livestock Owners Association for onward sale to members on a cheaper rate. Sujata tells us more.
And multivitamin, among other tablets, worth $300,000 is the cost of the medication designed to improve the lives of cattle in the country.
Drugs have been sold to livestock farmers, solely beneficiaries, directly by the regional president of the National Livestock Owners Association at the current market rate price of $250 per bottle of antibiotics and $150 per bottle of multivitamins and $25 per bottle. Profits made from the sale of the drugs should be paid into the account of the Regional National Livestock Owners Association office.
So, Board of Director Gambia Livestock Marketing Agency said it was part of the agency's mandate to plug back such revenue to livestock farmers in the form of drugs or other services. He also highlighted the terms and conditions of the sale of the veterinary drugs.
Drugs have been sold within the district of each region and not to non-members of the National Livestock Owners Association, or to those who serve as livestock dealers or as field agents of the Department of Livestock Services, or GILMA. No drugs should be sold outside the country.
We don't talk about only healthy people, we have to talk about healthy animals, because at the end of the day, people are going to use this animal. So this dog should go a long way, and then we are here with all the Regional Livestock Owners Association chairperson. They will collect this medicine and go to their regions and distribute it to their farmers at regional at district level.
The president of National Livestock Owners Association called on the youth folk to venture into livestock rearing.
We are going into the rainy season. Definitely they need to get proper medication so that they can at least able to graze more. We want to improve the production of livestock in this country. We want people to go in for livestock production, especially the youth. We have been advocating for that. So with such initiative, we'll also motivate Gambian people to go in for livestock production. In 1-2 years term, at least we can able to feed our country.
The presentation of veterinary drugs to cattle has been described by many as a step in the right direction. Local farmers are looking forward to the gains being registered. Aissatou Jatta, GRTS.
Let's head to CRR because 42 students from St. Teresa's Senior Secondary School of Fulabantang in Central River Region have successfully completed their secondary education. As Ibrahim Balde reports, this is the first time a graduation ceremony has been held since the Christian Mission School was built in the late 1930s.
It is still not clear whether the church was built before the school. What is clear is that historical records point out that the Christian missionaries initially built a school in the village around the 1930s. It was not until the early 1940s authorities started enrolling students. 8 decades later, the school assembled its first graduates after successfully completing their secondary education in the village. Prominent citizens such as Chief Justice Hassan B. Jallow, a native of Bansang, and Edward Gomez, who was born in Flabantan, attended the mission school in the early 1950s, graced the event. In his speech at the event, Chief Justice Hassan B. Jallow gave a historical account of the mission school, pointing out that it has been the springboard for many Gambians who proceeded to higher levels of education.
We must, all of us, those of us in government, as parents, and the rest of society, continue to invest. Indeed, we must intensify our investment in education. Students and their parents should seriously seize the opportunities now that are now in education. The Holy Prophet Muhammad said that seek education, even if it is as far away as in China.
For his part, the guest speaker, Edward Gomez, said he owed a debt of gratitude to Flabantan for molding him into a responsible individual. He pledged to do whatever it takes to improve standards of education in the school. Gomez urged the students to strive hard and pursue advanced education.
I want to impress on you that education is very valuable in your life. It is the ladder to success. With education, you can surmount any problem. Nothing can stand in your way.
The Akalo of Flabantan, Muhammad Bore Dem, urged parents to send their children to school, pointing out that instead of being idle, some parents may be compelled to teach their children how to become better farmers. The school principal, John Jata, gave a historical account of how the new school was built and some of the challenges they initially faced in the beginning. For his part, the former principal, Keba Sanya, who pioneered the school expansion project, explained how it all started and some of the challenges they underwent. The overall best student for the 2017-2018 academic year was conferred on Saratu Balde, who returned home with most of the prizes. Ibrahim Balde, Grts News.
And we'll stay with education because our ICE educator took a closer look at the significance of a graduation, which has for long been held for senior and tertiary students, now embraced by nursery and kindergarten schools.
It's an important milestone in every student's life, a day that sums up years of schoolwork and attendance, coupled with award-winning performances. Graduation ceremonies are common occasions, marking the end of one's educational cycle. In the Gambia, graduation often focuses on older students from grade 12 to higher education levels. In recent times, a new trend has emerged across the country, graduating students at the nursery and kindergarten levels. These youngsters, whose educational knowledge is perhaps not more than a couple of dozen nursery rhymes, A to Z and 1 to 100, spend days preparing for this one day.
Our special thanks goes to our conscientious and diligent teachers for imparting knowledge and good morals in us. We will live to always remember you. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to any other one, but to our God Almighty.
One might wonder how beneficial this day is to the life of a kindergarten student. We talked to Miss Victoria Ethel Clark, a woman who spent a lifetime nurturing young pupils.
What it is, or whatever hinders him from doing what he is not. Education itself is a mental thing, and it's not scary. And everything we have to is part of education. Watch other people do
Regardless of their age, their graduation has the markings of every successful graduation, with parents and loved ones in attendance and even a guest speaker.
These young kids, that in the next few years to come, they will be the owners and the builders of this important economy.
While celebrating their day, preparing these children and young people for the future that awaits will impact the role they play in development. While for Zenith, ensuring that quality education is given to children is without doubt a worthy start. For Grts News, I am Aissatou Keita.
That takes us to our top story by Aminata Sanyang, which says the 4th Internet Governance Forum is underway in Banjul, and a significant convergence for the ICT sector. The theme of the forum is Internet Governance in New Gambia, and Aminata Sanyang reports on the event, which brought together various ICT institutions taking part in the forum.
Serving as a gateway to address the challenges in accessing the Internet, this forum brought together experts focusing on different expenses in ICT. The 4th Internet Governance Forum will address vital areas covering the Internet,
the private sector and the civil society, and all stakeholders in general, in their respective roles of shared principles, their norms, their rules, their values, the decision-making procedures and programs that shape the evolution and the use of the Internet that we know today. Based on the concept of Internet governance, it is noteworthy that our goal as a National IGF Steering Committee is to work with all the stakeholders to influence government's ICT policies and to see Internet governance fully entrenched in all sectors of the Gambian economy.
The Ministry of Information, Communication and Infrastructure are full participants of this forum. The Permanent Secretary, Amin Jai, said the issues discussed in the forum will impact the policies of government.
The government of the Gambia, aware of the critical role Internet governance could play in ensuring good governance, has taken the policy decision through MOISI to fully entrench it in all sectors of the Gambian economy, be it at the policy level, at the grassroots level, and at all the 7 regions of the country. Besides, within the National Development Plan of the Gambia, building a digital economy is a cross-cutting theme across all its objectives.
Different sessions were held and discussions were centered around the importance of an open Internet, building a digital economy in the Gambia in relation to NDP, and developing a cybersecurity framework in the Gambia. Of recent, the Gambia has experienced a serious growth in Internet and infrastructure improvement. Gambia is faced with some challenges in the Internet, but stakeholders pledge to work together to provide a more secure and good Internet for the Gambia. Reporting for Grts News, I am Aminata Sanyang.
That takes us to a break. The international news is up next. Do stay tuned. Welcome back, and let's take a look at the international stories. Wednesday marks International Plastic Bag Free Day, and IET advocates for eco-friendly alternatives to single-use plastic bags. In South Africa, one leading retailer has introduced 100% recyclable bags, and Leslie Murungo has more in this report.
It's a bold move by Pick n Pay. The supermarket giant has hosted trials for its new bags. Customers have been invited to swap their old plastic bags for these compostable ones free of charge. Plastic takes hundreds of years to decompose, but not these eco-friendly versions.
This shopping bag is not plastic. It looks like plastic, and it's not plastic. It's made from 100% vegetable material that in 90 days can become part of the environment again. Whereas a normal plastic bag takes up to 500 years to disintegrate. And we as consumers are ruining the planet, and we need to think of a better way of doing our shopping. Hence, a bag like this and a box. So we're giving the customers a bag and a box or whatever they need to try and change the mindset and come shopping with a different way of thinking.
Shoppers have welcomed the initiative.
It's very encouraging to see that retailers are actually putting their money where their mouth is and doing something about it, and not just releasing greenwashing type statements. And we have to tackle this plastic pollution problem.
Although retailers around the world have implemented plans to reduce plastic in line with government policies and programs, at the end of the day, it's up to the consumer to choose biodegradable, eco-friendly products. Leslie Marungu, CGTN.
That takes us to Nigeria, because a radio station there is hoping to achieve what legal institutions have failed to deliver, and that's social justice. Nigeria's courts are notorious for their delays, and the Grts Family Radio provides a platform for people to air their grievances and promises to help redress alleged wrongs. Take a look.
6 times every week, over 100 petitioners gather outside the gates of Grts Family Radio. They are vying for a chance to voice their grievances on air and potentially receive help.
Ordinary people must be protected.
The program boasts of resolving some of the cases much quicker than Nigeria's courts.
The laws are there, but the enforcement is nothing. Implementation, zero. It is as good as not being there.
The show crosses many of Nigeria's widest divides, religion, ethnicity, and religion interest, and unifies the downtrodden with a great purpose.
The case has been with the police. So we go there, they will say, come tomorrow, come tomorrow. I'll be going there for some 3 months now. And the case has been also transferred to the SARS, and which they are demanding about 300,000 now from us, and which we don't have. So that is why we came here for assistance.
Nigeria's courts are said to be notorious for the delays and flurries of injunctions and counter-injunctions.
An average American child knows his or her fundamental human rights, but not in Nigeria. The awareness is not there.
Nigeria's Justice Ministry has not responded to requests for comment. It has also been difficult to verify how effective Grts Family's results were. Chomrono, CGTN.
That brings an end to this edition of the News at 10, but before we go, a recap of the top stories once again. ICT experts and partners have gathered for the 4th Internet Governance Forum in the Gambia. Officials of the Transport Ministry have visited project site of China Aid International Conference Center to inspect ongoing works. The South African retailer has replaced plastic with compostable bags. This as the country celebrates International Plastic Bag Free Day. A radio show in Nigeria is providing a platform for people to air grievances as an alternative to the country's slow judicial process. And that's the News at 10. Thank you for joining us. On behalf of the entire news team, keep watching GRTS.